with us.
It is halftime, Mile High Stadium. Houston leads at 21-13. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Todd Christensen.
Well, one of the things that stands out, some of the key plays in the first half, I mean, right off the bat, there's a 50-yard throw to Haywood Jeffries that culminated with Jeffries on the slant for the touchdown. Diving catch there for number 84. As we mentioned, 100 catches this season. Only the 6th player to have ever accomplished that feat. Now, this questionable interception by Steve Atwater becomes a pivotal play because right after this, John Elway turns around and drives the team nearly 90 yards to get their touchdown and their momentum heading into the second half. This is going to be a pivotal play because this now means that the Denver Broncos have to score one more time than they wanted to. A little bit of a bad snap. Kubiak can't quite get it down. Treadwell hooks it left, and now it's 21-13. Now look at the Coors Light halftime statistics. The passing yards, of course, stand out, 216 to 92. But interestingly enough, one of the things here is the percentage. 16 of 19 for Warren Moon, 8 for 10 for John Elway. I would look for the ball to be in the air an awful lot here in the second half.
And Denver will have first offensive opportunity in the second half. Here is Montgomery on the return to the 29-yard line. So Denver scoring at the end of the first half with 39 seconds left. Pulling within 8, 21-13 because of that missed extra point. And still they haven't really thrown the ball that much.
Well, again, you know, earlier in the game when you looked at Houston just totally dominating the Broncos, again, you have to look back at the scoreboard. There's only an 8-point differential, and there's 30 minutes to play.
Elway throwing only 10 times in the first half, completing 8 of them. And here is Gaston Green. So Denver determined to stay on the ground. A gain of 4 to the 33. It'll be second down and 6.
Might want to note that Jeff Alm, number 76 for the Houston Oilers, coach, defensive coordinator Jim Eddy said that he would get his playing time. Well, now, because of the back problems of Ray Childress, he's going to get more than just a little bit of playing time.
One more number that stands out in the first half, a total of 14 penalties were accepted. More than that, of course, called. Houston 9 times for 60 yards, Denver 5 times for 55. Second down and 6. Sewell is the remaining back for the Broncos. A passing formation. Flags are down. Houston in the neutral zone. Free play. It is incomplete. It'll be 5 yards against the Oilers. Michael Young, the intended receiver. And I believe it was Jeff Alm that got into the neutral zone.
Well, we just mentioned the fact that the youngster is now in the game because of the tightening up of Ray Childress's back, and he's a little bit anxious to get up the field. Jim Eddy said he wanted his defensive tackles to be upfield rushers to contain Elway, but in that case, almost a little over anxious.
And with the penalty, it'll be second down and 1.
76 defense. Still second down.
That man right there, vital in the first half, did a nice job of getting upfield. Now he's replaced by a youngster. He's enthusiastic, but again, that's another mental error, and we've had a lot of them today for 2 teams that are in the playoffs. Elway lucky to get this one back. Bo Orlando does a nice job of anticipation, but his vertical leap isn't quite enough to come down with the football.
Second down and 1. Sharp is in motion. Green has the first down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 3, first down and 10. And of course, one of the reasons that Denver is running the ball so much is they're very aware of the clock. They want to keep the ball out of Warren Moon's hands.
Well, that's true.
So does everybody else.
That's true, but I also think that Denver is just a little bit more concerned with getting themselves some continuity offensively, and it seemed like that they had captured that at the end of the first half.
As you look at John Elway, John, I think this year having more fun being the national celebrity that he is. Remember when he told us in San Diego that now he goes out to the grocery store and he signs autographs and visits with people? In the past, he would have stayed at home. We asked him how was Christmas. He said it was fabulous. I was with the family and I saw a lot of friends and I saw a lot of fans and I really enjoyed it. This time Gaston Green is dropped. Sean Jones and Al Smith were there for Houston.
Well, Al Smith, built like the fireplace, comes right through the middle. Watch him come over the lead blocker. Watch number 54. He knifes in over the guard, cuts across Shannon Sharp, and makes the play on Gaston Green. Earlier in the season, I asked Al Smith, I said, you know, you're a middle linebacker in the 4-3, and maybe you don't get the notoriety that you deserve because of Warren Moon in the offense, but this year he did, selected to the Pro Bowl, 143 tackles.
Outside of Elway's long pass, which of course had the offsides penalty, The other three plays in the first half have all been the run. Here's the screen to Sewell. Sewell with the first down, 45-yard line of Houston. 16 yards on the play.
Now, when John Elway double clutches, take a close look and see whether or not there were some offensive linemen downfield. This is a middle screen is what this is called. They release. Now watch the double clutch. They wait. Went down. Look how far downfield he is. He's at least 4 yards downfield. They got away with one. Sewell with the first down.
And does Sewell remind you when Dan Reeves when he was in Dallas with his versatility?
Well, a lot of these plays are Dallas plays. They ran a lot of the middle screen, and they ran some shovel pass there when he was an offensive coordinator under John Landry.
Here is Sewell to the 30, the 25. Ball knocked away, but out of bounds. 26-yard line. Denver retains possession. Vance Johnson with a lead block, 18 yards.
Houston comes out cold. They're rocking on their heels. Sean Jones there to make the play, but does not. And Sewell cutting to the outside. Bo Orlando knocks the ball loose, but a little bit too close to the sidelines. Steve Sewell, awfully tall for a running back, 6'4" and about 212 pounds. But his versatility has been invaluable to the Denver Broncos.
Russell goes wide to the far side. Young wide to this side. With Johnson in the slot left. And we're just resetting the clock. This is where Vance Johnson likes to be because he does sight adjustments on what the defense does, and Elway will look to him first. It is intercepted at the 8-yard line. Richard Johnson has the interception. And he is out of bounds.
That man just cannot be too happy with himself. Richard Johnson has been burned the last couple of times, but now he comes back and burns the Broncos. It'll be the Oilers' ball when we come back.
Freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme, a car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Alpha 1 is up 2. Enemy squad in open. Moving north on foot.
Sergeant, here's the latest intelligence report.
I'll post it right away, Sergeant. Sir, enemy position is confirmed at top.
Step off.
Army Reserve, Montgomery GI Bill, skill training and more.
Listen to the trees. They're trying to tell us something about what our polluted air is doing to them and to us. Fortunately, there's an answer. Natural gas. The cleanest burning fossil fuel we have. It can help save the air and everything that lives in it. Listen to the trees, because air pollution is a problem hanging over all of us. Use natural gas and we'll all breathe easier.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By UPS, offering 10:30 guaranteed overnight air delivery. By Domino's Pizza. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home. And by Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time.
Mile High Stadium quieting down just a bit. Houston with the ball. Richard Johnson, his first interception of the season. Oilers ball, first down, their own 33. They lead 21-13. Moon has pressure, still completes the pass to Drew Hill. To the 45-yard line, and a gain of 12, first down as Moon slowly gets to his feet.
The play that Richard Johnson made that enabled the Denver Broncos to get the ball back. Great anticipation. Richard Johnson right here plays him outside in, but he's going to guess here on the slant route, playing back enough. He'd been burned earlier by the same route, but his anticipation is tremendous here. Out on an island, cuts right in front of the receiver, and gets the ball back. Watch the anticipation on the part of Richard Johnson. Strangely enough, Charlie, in 18 games, that is his first interception of the season.
Lorenzo White. 5 yards to the 50 at his second down and 5.
We made a big deal out of the home field advantage for the Denver Broncos coming into this game. Ironically enough, this is a game of matchups. Houston leads the series 20-11-1, and they're not intimidated by Mile High Stadium at all. That 20-11-1, a 63-64% winning percentage, is the best that they have against any team in the National Football League.
You played here against the Broncos. Is it an intimidating stadium, intimidating crowd?
I mentioned the fact that the Mile High Stadium reminds me a little bit of Boston Garden in the NBA. Funky things always seem to happen to go Denver's way.
Second and 5. Knocked away. Good defensive play by Charles Dimmery. And this is the man that Moon has been picking on.
Well, again, it's a situation where the referee has a judgment call. You can see Dimmery will have the right hand on Haywood Jeffries. But he does make a good play, good anticipation. Steps back right there. He's got the arm all over him.
Looks like a fistful of jersey in the back. Right there.
The argument that the official has to make right there is, does the hand touch the jersey first before the ball or not? In this case, the official decided that it didn't. I think it was a good non-call.
Third down. Houston is 4 of 4 third down opportunities in this ballgame. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be 5 of 5. They're going to spot it at the 45-yard line. White brought down by Michael Brooks.
Here is a very subtle difference here of having the running back Lorenzo White versus having Alan Pinkett. When Lorenzo White catches the ball here, he's going to be short of the first down. But the 215, 220 pounds of momentum which comes forward is much more than the 190 or 192 pounds that Pinkett has to offer. Right there, he lunges forward over the stripe. First down for Houston.
Dimmery limps out. Montgomery has replaced him. And so the Broncos continue to fight the injury battle. And here is White. Pushed down. 34-yard line. He picks up 11.
This man has been angry all season long. He has not been a starter throughout the entire regular season. In their first playoff game against the New York Jets, they realized that they have to beef up their protection. The bodyguard for Warren Moon is the offensive back. In this case, Lorenzo White. Last week, he had 17 carries for 65 yards. This week, as you just saw right there, 9 carries for 40 yards. And more importantly, where Warren Moon is concerned, he's been protecting him.
Number 22, Alton Montgomery, as you see in the ball game, replacing Charles Dimmery. Montgomery is one of the return men for the Broncos. They would like to play this game without him being in the defensive secondary. And here is White again. This is his 10th carry of the ball game. He goes to the 29, picks up 5. So in 10 carries, he now has 45 yards. Simon Fletcher makes the tackle. We talked to Simon Fletcher yesterday. He told us his mother, Ethel, who lives in Houston, was not coming to the game since she'd been to the Super Bowl. She considers herself a possible jinx. And he mentioned that she was named after Ethel Mertz of I Love Lucy.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought I got to charge you that. Hey, let me ask you something, Charlie.
Right.
How long do you think it's going to take Warren Moon to find Alton Montgomery?
This play. The next play. Lorenzo White, when he decides to throw.
You were absolutely right. Lorenzo White found Alton Montgomery. He came up to make the tackle and missed it. And as a result, it appears that they have the first down. To go a little bit farther with the Lorenzo White story, beginning the season, he held out. And as a result of holding out, Alan Pinkett in the first 2 games of the season had 100-yard games. Now, why are they going to change? And they didn't. He's been an angry man all year long, and now when it's money time, Lorenzo White is there, and Alan Pinkett finds himself a spectator.
And remember, he also told us that in the offseason, he worked on his leg strength because he wanted to be strong at the end of the season, and he is showing that. Moon comes back, pass is complete to Givens. And he is brought down by Lilo Line.
Let me reiterate the point once again, Charlie. Look at the smile that man has on his face. He's had a broken nose. He's taken shots. People who watch a lot of replay will know that one of the more famous replays that you see is one where he takes a catch and Allen of the Philadelphia Eagles knocks him cold and he's laying prostrate on the ground. The man is 5'9", 172 pounds, and he has to go in the middle of the field. I really admire that toughness.
Dimry back in the ball game.
Charlie, to further that point just a little bit, not one of the Fab Four have missed a game due to injury since 1989.
Dimry in this ball game, as usual, will play both corners. We'll see him on the right corner part of the time. We'll see him on the left corner where he is now. And Warren Moon looks up. He'll take a timeout. 6:06 left to go. We're the third. Houston leads at 21-13.
Dean Witter believed one thing that should distinguish his brokers is their ability to listen.
Listen not only to what our clients say, but what they mean.
I have a vision about retirement.
Each client has a level of comfort.
You know me. I'm a planner.
There is no greater dividend a firm can earn than the confidence of its clients.
You've helped me make some good decisions.
There are many ways to measure success.
We measure success one investor at a time.
The power of intelligent engineering is routinely put to the test at Oldsmobile. And here's the result. Of all the Cutlass Sierras ever sold in the last 10 years, we can say 96% are still on the road. Safely say. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Available now for $12,695 with Air and V6 engine.
What better way to start 1992 than to tell you about Domino's great new two-pizza deal. It's Domino's double-up deal. 2 medium pizzas each with one topping, just $10.99. $10.99?
$10.99.
Domino's makes your pizzas fresh when you call and gets them there in 30 minutes or less. So if you want a lot of great pizza for a little price for you and your whole family, nobody knows like Domino's how you like our double-up deal for just $10.99.
Tuesday.
Where's your mom?
She don't die. Gillespie reaches out to a young boy left alone in the world on a special all-new Heat. Then an actress is brutally attacked by an obsessed fan.
I didn't want to hurt her.
Why me?
Ripped from today's headlines.
If he can't have her, he'll make sure no one else does.
An all-new Law & Order after Heat, NBC Tuesday.
The Houston Oilers have had the ball for 5 minutes and 24 seconds, and so as a result, Atwater, Smith, and Kroll coming on the blitz. They want to create some kind of turnover. But Warren Moon, with a savvy veteran leadership, says, we're not taking any chances. Let's call timeout and think it over.
2nd and 4 at the 18. The crowd back in the ball game for Denver. Moon is in trouble. Still manages to stagger forward to the 15-yard line. He salvages 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 1 before Sauché and Mecklenburg bring him down.
One of the most impressive things about Warren Moon, everybody knows the guy has a gun for an arm. Everybody knows that he can lay it in there. But that's the 3rd time today that he has made something happen out of nothing with his running ability. He was sacked for a 5-6-yard loss, has a little 360 in the middle of the field, kind of a Baryshnikov thing. And I know he'd get mad at me if I told him that now he's at 35 years of age, he runs like a 5'1". But that was a terrific play right there, because now they come up with a very makeable 3rd and 2.
Remember what Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator at Denver, told us? You know about his arm. Remember his strength. 5 of 5 on 3rd downs. It is incomplete. Almost 6 of 6. Jeffries cannot pull it in.
Very catchable ball, and you can see the consternation on the face of Jack Hardy. He's really disappointed. What happens is a receiver a lot of times will try to decide, do I want to backhand it or I want to forehand it? Take a look at the hands of Haywood Jeffries. He can't decide at the last minute. It's too high. He goes with the backhand. It squeezes right between the two of them. He's got to come up and try to chest that ball because he knows he's going to get hit.
32-yard field goal attempt. Matthews to Montgomery to the kicker. It is no good. Al Del Greco misses to the right from 32 yards away. We'll be back to Mile High in a moment.
It didn't happen in Germany, nor in Japan. It happened right here. An all-new car, born of intelligent engineering. The Oldsmobile 88 Royale. You've seen it, now come drive it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Now, get 2.9% APR financing for up to 48 months.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
Each year, corporate America spends over $10 billion on overnight shipping. Yet according to a report in the Wall Street Journal, $3 billion of that is wasted. If you find that kind of inefficiency alarming, call UPS. We can save you up to 40% on overnight deliveries and help prevent your profits from going up in smoke. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
They want you at the meetings, the dinners, you in 2 places at once. So you can't be held back by a preset limit on a bank card. What you need is something that's behind you. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Okay, the Boston Garden thing, maybe they have their leprechauns. I guess the Denver Broncos have their ponies. Perfect snap, perfect hold. It's 32 yards right down the middle. That's about a 90% proposition in the NFL. It goes wide. No excuse. No excuse.
Houston had the ball for 6 minutes and 21 seconds and came away with no points on this drive. Denver takes over. First down at their own 20-yard line, trailing 21-13. And they stay with the ground game. Gaston Green to the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Do you have the feeling this could come down the last 2 or 3 minutes of the ball game?
It could, but because of the curious way of the missed extra point, we're not going to have overtime. Somebody's going to have to make some big plays at the end. Again, it's interesting to note out that Houston has yet really to stop themselves. Their drives have ended, one with the Atwater interception, the end of the first half, and in this case, a missed field goal. We haven't seen Greg Montgomery all day.
Except to hold.
Except, excuse me, thank you. All right.
Elway, pushed down, 33-yard line. He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Well, Lee Williams had a terrific rush. It appeared that he had him in his sights, but that's what makes John Elway so special, and this is something you just can't coach. He feels arm under, he gets right past Sean Farrell, but he goes a little bit too far. Elway steps up, and right there, it looks like he's going to get tackled. Comes back, William Fuller gets him down, but not before he has the first.
And the Stanford grad, 4 carries, 30 yards rushing. Green, by the way, 15 carries, 54 yards on the ground for Denver. First down to the 33, Elway to throw. He comes back to Vance Johnson. 37-yard line.
Jim Eddy was telling us that Vance Johnson, he feels like, is not the downfield receiver that he once was. That predominantly now he catches those types of routes which are called squats, running across the middle of the field and sitting down in the dead spot of the zone. Watch number 82. Back pedal right there, just in the middle of the zone waiting. Catches the ball, takes a shot from Al Smith. So everyone is concerned with him downfield, but you know, the guy did win the 60 meters at the NCAA at Arizona.
There's that Utah pass that you like.
Now, that's a nice job by Bobby Greer stepping in. Last time when they played the Houston Oilers, they did the same thing. The ball was dropped. Dishman picked it up and ran in for a score, and the official never called it as it properly should have been, which is an incomplete pass. Even though it's behind the line of scrimmage, it is a forward pass.
Little shuttle pass.
You can see right there, Shannon Sharp looked up much too soon. He was too excited to run with the ball. Watch the head right there, already looking upfield as the ball hits him between the 8 and the 1. Good job by the officials on the field being on top of that.
Elway 10 of 14, 102 yards, a touchdown and an interception, 3rd and 6 from the shotgun. It is caught, Michael Young. 31-yard line, 31 yards.
Okay, John Elway has a quarterback rating of 76.8. That's 9th in the AFC. Are you really telling me that there are 8 quarterbacks in the AFC you'd rather have than John Elway that could make that throw right there, right on the money in the corner route? Darrell Lewis actually has pretty good coverage. He's stride for stride with Michael Young. John Elway puts it the only place it could have been. That's the magic right there that sets John Elway apart from the other quarterbacks. He comes up with a big play.
First down, Houston 31. To Gaston Green, he can't get to it. They're trying to slip Green out of the backfield. It'll be second down and 10, back of the 31-yard line.
Give Johnny Meades credit. That's an out-and-up route by Gaston Green out of the backfield. That's exactly the matchup that the Denver Broncos wanted, but the veteran Johnny Meades, number 91, was with him stride for stride. Fakes the block, comes to the outside. This is actually called a swing route, and he runs down the field in hopes of getting somebody who has better speed than Meades, which certainly Green does, but Meades does a good job of anticipating that particular route.
And it is second down and 10. Houston leads at 21-13. 2:14 left to go, third quarter. Throwback screen, and it is Shannon Sharp. And this time Elway underthrew it. It'll be third down and 10.
You see, look at Ernest Gibbons laughing right there. He said something to John Elway trying to catch his goat. Ernest Gibbons and Vance Johnson are the 2 king trash talkers, and I wonder why it is that it's always those Smurf receivers that are always running their mouths.
Here's what you were talking about.
Not happy with himself. He looks over and Ernest says, "Oh, gee, that's a shame. Really sorry about that incompletion." I don't know if anybody has any more fun than that man, number 81, Ernest Gibbons, with the hat on right now. Try not to mess up what little hair he has left.
Denver 4 of 6 on third down. Elway throws it, almost intercepted by Dishman. Elway was getting all kinds of pressure. Sewell, the intended receiver, will be fourth down and 10. And he got away with one because Dishman should have had it.
Well, now Treadwell, this will be interesting. Everybody talks about the thin air and everything else, but as indicated by the kickoffs that Treadwell has had at this point, I think he might be a little bit out of his range. You're right. I think Dishman wishes he had this one back.
Treadwell's longest this season is 47. From the 39, a 49-yard attempt, so that's right on the ragged edge. It's wobbly, but he does it.
Morning breath.
As soon as I have my coffee, it's all gone.
Whether you admit it or not, it's a problem.
Okay, I have morning breath, but it doesn't bother anyone.
Don't be so sure.
Mine's not so bad.
Morning breath's not as bad as you think. It's worse. So get Scope. Its 2 powerful ingredients kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Was my morning breath really that bad?
There's no denying morning breath, so save your breath with Scope.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential. Rock solid.
Freedom. It's the spirit which moves the Cutlass Supreme. A car intelligently engineered to free your eyes, your hands, your senses. Introducing the new Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. The look may change, but the spirit remains the same. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
January 18th is All-Star Saturday on NBC. First, it's Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and the greatest stars in hockey at the NHL All-Star Game. Then, celebrities from the worlds of sports and entertainment tee it up with the PGA's best at the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Hockey's All-Stars and stars of all sorts coming in 2 weeks to NBC Sports.
We come back to Mile High Stadium. The margin now 5. Houston 21, Denver 16. Allen Pickett from the 5 to the 15 to the 20 to the 25-yard line, 26-yard line. 21 yards on the return. Steve Sewell with the tackle.
Steve Sewell on the tackle. Isn't that something? Number 30. We talked about his versatility, catching, running, blocking, and here he is on kickoff coverage. Maybe if I'm Steve Sewell, I go into Pat Bolin's office and say, hey, Ben, it could be time for a raise. I'm doing an awful lot of work out here.
Now Houston leads by 5. But the momentum on the side of the Broncos.
I was going to say, Charlie, one of the catchphrases that you hear with regards to this time of the game is gut check. It's a gut check now for the Houston offense because the onus falls on the shoulders of Warren Moon.
Moon has pressure. Pass is complete to White. White almost spins out of the first tackler, and that was Brooks, but then Cragen got him. And again, you're showing what you pointed out a moment ago, the strength of White.
What's very impressive, too, here, despite the spin around, is a graphic that people aren't aware of. They talk about the third down conversion of the Houston Oilers, but interestingly, a pass like that is seemingly insignificant. More than 50% of the time on first down, Houston gets 5 yards or more. That's a very important statistic because they continue to come up 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, very makeable third down conversions.
Defensively, Mecklenburg is out. Ron Holmes replaces him. 2nd and 5. They show blitz, and they come, and it is red. And here is Gibbons. Gibbons to the 50. Gibbons is spiked, and the flag goes on Charles Dimry as he turned him upside down and dropped him on his helmet out of bounds. 29 yards on the play, and that is dangerous.
There's no cause for that.
No reason.
Here we're talking about how tough this little kid is. Now watch as he gets to the end of the play. He comes off a block of Tony Jones. Now Gibbons, of course, right here is just trying. Look at this. You're at least 2 yards out of bounds. Right here, you can just let him go. And turning him on his head when he's that far out of bounds, I'm surprised that Dimry doesn't get tossed from the game for that. I don't know what the crowd's booing about. What are you talking about? Look how far out of bounds he is. He's at least 3 yards. There's no reason that he has to do that.
Gibbons' 5th reception.
He's already out of bounds. All he had to do was push him out. Instead, he does the pile driver. It reminded me a couple of years ago when Joe Turkey Jones did the same thing to Terry Bradshaw in a game.
Remember yesterday, Gibbons said it's just a kid's game, but grown men are playing it. He's up.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I'm happy to see that. And you know what? I'm hoping that the boos that we hear from the crowd are boos of Charles Dimry, not because they're booing the play, because there's just no reason for that.
I suspect they are.
And the thing is a player like this, a tough little competitor, somebody who has done exactly what he said, elevating his game for the playoffs, to be turned on his head like that, there's no excuse for it.
With the penalty, the ball goes to the 25-yard line of Denver, where Houston will have a first down. 53 seconds, time remaining in the third. Again, Houston leads by 5, 21-16.
If that man can get back in the game, he will. I know I'm sounding like I'm a big Ernest Gibbons fan, but
you are.
But having my career occupied in the middle of the field, I know how tough it was to do that at 230 pounds, let alone do it at 172.
A little shuttle pass as he was going down to White. They improvised. They may pick up the first down.
This is unbelievable. Warren Moon is making so many plays today. You know, at the beginning we talked about the fact that we said already this man in Houston has taken on almost deity-like status, giving $200,000 to a church, setting records for completions and numbers and everything else. Makes the play here. Kroll is right there, has him just before he goes down. The left-handed flip to White, and White gets up with the first down. Warren Moon is, as they say, forgive this cliche, but this is so exciting. He is letting it all hang out.
Yes. And he told us yesterday that this is the best team that the Oilers have had since he's been there.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think really this year...
I think really because of this man is the reason it's the best
Well,
team.
certainly he's one of the reasons, but the defense has had an outstanding season as well.
He's such a class man. I really do like him. A first down at the Denver 15-yard line.
This is one of the few people, you know, it sounds corny to say this, but if you have a son and he grows up to be Warren Moon, you have no complaints.
Well stated. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
He's taking America by storm, and he's just getting started. See his first television special, Friday, January 17th. Garth Brooks is coming to NBC.
You may not have believed an American luxury sedan could challenge the world's best. The new Cadillac Seville STS. Winner of Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year, and one of Car and Driver Magazine's 10 best cars in the world. The Cadillac Seville STS, presented by your Cadillac Tri-Statesman. There's never been a car so acclaimed it could change the way you think about American automobiles.
Adjustable front seatbelt anchors, standard driver's side airbag, available anti-lock brakes.
But when it came to safety, we didn't ask what it costs. We asked what it could save. The all-new 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Subway's vigilante, Bernard Getz. Now it can be told.
The big play of this drive is Warren Moon seeing the blitz. From the left side right here, you're going to see Dennis Smith is coming in. Now from the right side of the screen comes Steve Atwater. Watch the center, Bruce Matthews. The center, Bruce Matthews, and Doug Dawson go to a zone situation, collide together. Two men take on three. Ernest Gibbons runs the out route as he's looking into the backfield, exactly what he's supposed to do on that blitz read. And now they're downfield, poised to score again.
Houston first down, 15-yard line. White. No, that's Jeffries that has it. Inside of the 10. And it is Dimry again, regardless of which side of the field Warren Moon looks for him.
Well, you know what's interesting is that now Gibbons is coming back in the game. Oh, good. Good to see that.
A strained neck. Hopefully he will return. Well, that hope has been fulfilled for the Oilers.
Get a little rub down. That's kind of a stinger right there between. I'm going to sound like a physiologist here, but right between the trapezius and the ears, where you get those stingers in the neck. Trust me, I've had a few.
I know where the ear is. I'm not sure the trapezius. Second down. Here is White. Maybe a yard for Lorenzo. Ron Holmes makes the tackle. Through 3 quarters of play, there is a 100-yard discrepancy in total offense. Houston 351 yards, Denver 251 yards. The ball at the 7-yard line.
Interestingly enough, last time when they're in this situation, you can see Kevin Gilbride looking over his plays, what it is he wants to do. They did not go for the first time last time. They threw the touchdown on the swirl route to Curtis Duncan on the right side of the field. I would anticipate seeing some crossing routes from the inside receivers, Hill and Gibbons.
Now, Dimry is the right corner, so he is to the left of the offense for Houston. Moon looking right, comes back left, throws over the middle, it's dropped. Jeffries couldn't hold on to it, and the field goal team will come out.
That's the second costly drop for Haywood Jeffries. You know, we've really been lauding him over the fact that early in the game he had the big catch and he had 100 catches. But this is very catchable. The offensive line, great protection. Moon seeing the entire field. He hits him right. No one touches anything. Dimry's completely behind him. Very catchable ball. That should have been a touchdown for the Oilers.
Al Del Greco from the 15, an attempt of 25. He missed officially from the 33 on the earlier one. Montgomery with the hold. It's perfect. So Houston adds 3 more. Their total is now 24 to 16.
In the right hands, even the most functional things can be art. So we asked a sculptor to design a new luxury sedan, the Mazda 929. And while it offers a generous list of safety features and amenities to comfort both mind and body, its richest rewards are for the soul. The new 929, the first luxury sedan from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
Alex Furlong is about to die. and enter the year 2009.
Alex, don't you remember me?
Now he's a free jack.
Someone paid to bring him back.
With a body that's priceless.
$15 million to anyone who can bring you in.
In a world that's ruthless.
I watched you die.
Emilio Estevez, Mick Jagger, Rene Russo, and Anthony Hopkins.
Welcome to my mind.
Free Jack, rated R. Starts Friday, January 17th.
Some people perspire.
We sweat.
You need Arid Double X Protection to help keep you extra dry. And look, it's the only leading solid that doesn't leave a white, flaky mess.
Arid Double X helps keep us extra
dry.
Because there's a man planning his retirement. Because there's a family hoping to send their kids to college. Because every investor is different, with dreams all their own. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By the U.S. Army Reserve, be all you can be. By the Prudential, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
The scenic wonders of Colorado. I'm not sure it gets much better than this as we come back to Mile High Stadium. Del Greco kicking off. Alton Montgomery will down it in the end zone to bring it out to the 20.
I still think that this is a very catchable ball by Haywood Jeffries, but in fairness to him, watch the right hand of Charles Dimry right at the last minute is going to come in and pin his elbow back. Right there you can see the hand is in there. Still, I know that he probably says to himself that he feels that he could have had that one back. Interesting point, those two that are sitting right there, Drew Hill and Haywood Jeffries, combined for 190 catches this season. That is a record for two receivers in one National Football League season.
Yes, but let us also point out that Charles Dimry did make the play because they've been picking on him, and perhaps we have too. Denver first down from their own 20-yard line. Elway with a middle screen to Sewell. And Sewell to the 29-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. Bubba McDowell with the tackle. NFC Divisional Playoff. Earlier today, Washington defeated Atlanta by a score of 24-7. And tomorrow on NBC, of course, Kansas City at Buffalo, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time as the Divisional Playoffs continue.
I remember last year at this time, everybody said, oh, the only team that can beat Buffalo up there is Kansas City. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Here is Steve Sewell. Sewell finding an opening to the 41-yard line, and he is pumped. A gain of 12, first down.
This is probably...
Orlando makes the tackle.
I was going to say, Steve Sewell is having arguably one of the best games of his career, particularly running. He gets some good downfield blocks, but he also shows some sweet feet. And I might mention for those aficionados who keep track of such things, his number 30 is the same as his head coach, Dan Reeves, wore for the Dallas Cowboys so long ago.
Jeff is the injured player. And we'll step aside for just a moment. Houston leads at 24-16.
When the Mazda Miata first came along, it was like nobody else's baby. But then it was designed to be different. Now the Miata will be joined by 5 new Mazda cars, like the MX-3 Sports Coupe with the only V6 in its class, and the 929 luxury sedan with dual airbags standard. Cars as pure and personal as the Miata. Designed to be different? You bet. The Miata was just the beginning.
Alpha 1, this is Alpha 2. Enemy squad in open. Moving north on foot.
Sergeant, here's the latest intelligence report.
I'll post it right away, Sergeant. Sir, enemy position is confirmed at top.
Step off.
No!
Reserve, Montgomery GI Bill, skill training, and more.
1980. The youth of the world gathered in Moscow. Everlasting memories, brought to you by the International Olympic Committee.
Defensive tackle Ray Childress out with a bad back, replaced by Jeff Ahm. He just comes out limping on a bad knee. He's replaced by number 94, Glenn Montgomery.
Jim Eddy told us he would only be used in an emergency situation. Well, time to dial 911. There he is.
Denver first down their own 41-yard line. Gaston Green. Couple of yards to the 43. It'll be second down and 8. 11 minutes and 42 seconds left to go. 24-16, Houston leads. There's Jim Eddy. I didn't even know it was a Tuesday. He is more fun to talk with because he gets. I asked him, I said, you know, I know you're ready up for this game. I haven't slept for a week. I'm so ready.
Very animated. Yeah. You know, if the thing doesn't work out with the defensive coordinator, he can always flag planes in for one of the airlines.
Second down. Elway now pressure from the backside. His hit as he throws, it is incomplete. William Fuller got him.
Well, William Fuller, known as the Fuller Rush Man, we haven't heard much from him today. Ken Lanier has done an outstanding job. And William Fuller is one of those people who's very charitable. 15 sacks, led the AFC. Very interesting human interest story.
And what he does, he donates $500 on every sack to the Juvenile Diabetes Society, helping out the young kids with diabetes. And he has a lot of corporate involvement so that a lot of companies also donate money. He has raised this season $97,500 to battle juvenile diabetes.
That's terrific.
That is. And Johnson first down. A 3rd and 8 conversion, a gain of 10. Have you noticed something? A lot of flags in the first half, very few flags in the second half. Everybody
I noticed number 57, Lamar Lathan. Sure, he's a middle linebacker, and I know he's a terrific athlete, but there's no way that he should be the guy underneath on top of Vance Johnson. They went to a zone coverage and assumed that Lathan could stay with him in that half of the field, and they were wrong.
Gaston Green to the 44-yard line. Second down and 7. Darrell Lewis, the rookie from Arizona, making the tackle.
And interesting, we're seeing some different numbers now. Darrell Lewis coming into the game. They're set. Both teams are having to go with some different people. You see right there, Vance Johnson, a little bit of a hamstring problem. Trying to stretch that out. That always happens to the fast guys like us.
Like us?
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to let that one go by.
Yeah, I figured.
Speaking of fast guys, Gaston Green, 17 carries, 59 yards rushing.
Slowed down a little bit in the second half. The Houston Oilers have done a better job against the run.
Little swing right side. And Gaston is going to pick up a yard. That'll be about it. Al Smith makes the tackle.
Al Smith showing a lot of range from his middle linebacker position, and also give Darrell Lewis, number 29, credit. He is one of the 4 young guns that are in the secondary for the Houston Oilers. Their 4 reserve defensive backs are all rookies. And Jim Eddy, the defensive coordinator, told us that yes, that they have improved, but they have really taken a baptism of fire because they've been burned a couple of times.
Barry Johnson, the rookie free agent, activated for this game as a wide receiver. He is the 5th wide receiver. He is in this offensive set of 3rd down and 6. Denver 5 of 8, 3rd down conversion. Elway can run for it. If he can get around the corner, he cannot get around the corner as he is pulled down by Lamar Lathan.
Now, Lamar Lathan is in what's called a spy position. He's the middle linebacker. He has legitimate 4-5 speed, and you saw it right there. How many times do you ever see a linebacker run down John Elway? Interestingly enough, now with 4th and 4, you saw Dan Reeves point and say, we're going for it.
The margin is 8 points, 24-16. They have to score twice.
This will be interesting to see. John Elway in the past has pooched kicks from this formation. So let's take a look and see what happens with the shotgun here.
It's there, first down. Still going, Michael Young. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
The protection for Elway was outstanding, and this enables Young to get open. But watch at the end of the play. Bo Orlando will knock off Steve Jackson, who has the tackle. They hit one another, and now Young is able to get up the field with some extra yardage to the 15-yard line.
26 yards on the play.
Actually got away with a little bit of a hold there. This is a swirl. Ooh, look at this. This is a real
This is a battle.
So much for the Chuck rule, huh? Comes out on that swirl route. Spins off. When we come back, the Denver Broncos are going to have the ball on the 15-yard line heading in.
The white zone is for
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right!
A mistake was made. Okay, we forgot. We overlooked it.
Say you need something sent overnight. There are a few companies you can call, but say you need it Saturday morning, guaranteed. There are two, but only one is so efficient.
Bobby, just give me a couple of minutes.
They get it there on time for far less, which is why to some, there is only one, UPS.
2 minutes, get him up. All right. Go, you score. Let's go, get him up.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential, rock solid.
This winter, sports' biggest stars are on NBC. Michael leads the world champs against Isaiah and the Pistons. Detroit heads to Boston to battle Larry Bird and the Celtics. A rematch of last year's NBA Finals as the Bulls take on the Lakers. And a day of shooting stars at the All-Star Game. The NBA's just beginning on NBC. Come fly with us.
William Fuller got a finger in the eye. That was the reason for the injury timeout.
Interestingly enough, William Fuller was part of the trade. You can see Ricky Nattiel trying to walk it off there a little bit.
He came out limping.
Of an ankle sprain. William Fuller was somebody who was in that trade 5 years ago that had the quarterback for the Rams, Jim Everett, traded from Houston to the Rams. He was just kind of a throw-in into the deal. And I think really, if you look at it, Houston might have got the best of that this first Pro Bowl season.
Here again is that little shuttle pass underneath the Sharp to the 8-yard line. Goes for 7. Lamar Lathan with the tackle. That has been an effective play.
As I say, under the heading, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think this is about the 4th time they've tried that. 3 times it's been complete, and of course the other time Sharp dropped it. He has Al Smith coming to the left, going out of position, and when he cuts back to the middle, there's some grass for him to get some yardage.
And Fuller comes back into the lineup. 2nd down and 3. The ball at the 8-yard line of Houston. Sharp. Steve Sewell to the 1-yard line. And he has done everything, hasn't he?
Well, the Denver Broncos love to trap, and that's exactly what they did. Vance Johnson now implores the crowd to get into the game. The Denver Broncos now going with a 3-tight set. Trap in the middle. Right here, they do a good job trapping Al Smith. You can see coming off of there, Wydell traps him. He gets in on the tackle, but not until Sewell has a 9-yard gain to the 1-yard line.
And they'll have that same offensive set that Greg Lewis scored on earlier with Keith Trader, the linebackers, the fullback, and the lead blocker. He's number 54. From a yard away. Touchdown, Denver. Denver putting together an 80-yard touchdown drive. Greg Lewis scores a touchdown. He's had a pretty good day. 3 carries, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's the extra point. It's good. Denver pulls within 1. Houston 24. Denver 23. 6:53 left to go in the ball game. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment.
White zone is for immediate.
We didn't design the new Mazda MX-3 to be like apple pie. Jalapenos were what we had in mind. Because if something's not worth having an opinion about it, it's not worth having. And with the only V6 in its class, the MX-3 is one hot chili pepper. Hey, you're not John Doe. Why drive his car? The new MX-3 from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
The Denver Broncos mascot, Sun Star, Christine Padilla, is up. 14-year-old Appaloosa horse.
There's
the mascot at the celebration.
Earlier in the week when I had a chance to chat with Greg Lewis, even though he is a rookie, he looked me right in the eye and he said, Todd, he said, this could be my only chance at this. You never know in this business. This could be it for me in terms of an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. He's making the most of it today with 2 touchdown runs.
That drive consumes 7 minutes and 32 seconds. 6:53 left. Houston leads by 1, high and short. Taken at the 20-yard line by Finkley. And down at the 27.
Unlike the rest of the Denver Broncos, he's asking for quiet. Sheesh.
He's looking right at the south stands.
And
the notorious south stands.
Yeah, I was going to say the south stands, much like the notorious dog pounding both Cleveland and the Arsenio Hall show. They can get rabid, but John wants them quiet. Now they're going to get loud.
Throwing underneath the coverage to Lorenzo White. 36-yard line, 2nd down and 1.
The last time they began this drive, they did the exact same thing. They threw a short pass to Lorenzo White, got the crowd out of the game. Now they come up with 2nd and short. Warren Moon is really playing a heady game today, not just making the good throws, but he's thinking out there and he's doing some things mentally that are creating the success for the Oilers.
Houston at their own 36-yard line. 2nd and 1. And here is White to the outside, 1st down. And down at the 41-yard line, so he'll pick up 5 in the 1st down as Atwater and Dimring make the play.
Only the Houston Oilers have stopped the Houston Oilers today. The 2 drop passes that ended up with a missed field goal and a made field goal, and of course the interception to Atwater. Jack Party excited with the way his offense is going. He knows that Warren Moon continues to do the job. And for the Denver Broncos, they have to stop the Houston Oilers here. They cannot let them take time off the clock, go down and kick a field goal. Within this series here, the Broncos have to do something.
1st down at their own 41-yard line. And Houston moves. Flags go flying. It'll be a false start. It'll be 1st and 15.
False start. Prior to the snap. 63 offense. Still first down.
The reason for the 1-point margin, in case you have not been with us throughout the ball game, the missed extra point with 1:17 to go in the 1st quarter.
It's very surprising, Charlie, while you're mentioning that. Mike Munchak, that's about his 3rd penalty where that is concerned, and that's just, you know, you wouldn't expect that from a 7-time Pro Bowler.
1st and 15. Here's White. Power running to the 45-yard line.
And I love it when you're pressured. I really do. You said earlier the fact that in the offseason he worked to make his legs stronger so that come this time of the year, he was going to be able to go. Excellent call by the Houston Oilers. Watch the legs churning. First hit there at the 39-yard line. Now watch as he churns his legs where he ends up. That's another 6 yards just by driving hard.
Denver has taken a timeout. We can go back to when I started the story a moment ago, and that being the missed extra point of the Denver Broncos. Weidel, the center, who is normally just a snapper, but with the thigh injury to Keith Karts, Weidel starting, and as Todd pointed out, with the tape on his hands, the holder Gary Kubiak and the kicker David Treadwell.
Well, how many times have we seen that happen in a game where that becomes pivotal? You don't think about it at the time.
And here's a look at it. The snap is high. When Kubiak brings it down, he drops it for a moment. And then the laces are to the kicker side. They hate to see the laces. He's still got to kick under.
That's exactly. He still has to kick up, and he's the one that hooked it. You know, when we look at it the second time, the snap really wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. You're right.
Lorenzo White now having an outstanding game. 14 carries for 65 yards. Also 5 catches for 35. 100 total yards in the game.
Now he's over 100 total yards, and he continues to roll inside the 45 of Denver. Randy Robbins with the tackle, and the clock continues to move. 4.5 minutes left. Houston leading by 1.
And that man right there has to feel awfully good about himself. Here they have arguably the best passing offense in the league, and now it's coming down to crunch time. And where do they go? They go to number 44.
And Mike Kroll, the rookie, who has been named the Associated Press Defensive Rookie of the Year, is the injured player. Clock is stopped with 4:29 left to go in the ball game. Houston 24, Denver 23, and tomorrow we look for a ball game that could well equal this. O.J. Simpson will be there in the pregame show on NFL Live with a feature on Bruce Smith. And the ball game, Kansas City and Buffalo, as the divisional playoffs continue on NBC. That'll be at 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Interestingly enough,
look at the weather. The weather in Buffalo, always a factor. Temperature 32 degrees. That sounds like here, possible flurry.
I was about to say, Charlie, that interestingly enough, even though Christian Okoye has been a non-factor for the Kansas City Chiefs down the stretch, a man who has come into the breach has been Barry Word, who now has 2 straight 100-yard games heading into this Buffalo game.
Gary Kubiak, the backup quarterback, and also the holder on extra points and field goals.
You know, we've seen that. I remember reading one time Paul Hornung said that he would rather kick the laces than kick the side of the ball, because when you kick the side of the ball where the air hole is, where you pump that thing in, that can make the thing slide one way or another. So the more we look at that replay, the more I think that was certainly makeable for Treadwell.
So Mike Kroll now comes out for a play.
Mike Kroll, as you mentioned, you know, 4th pick overall, had 10 sacks, defensive rookie of the year. Interestingly enough, today, the team that leads the AFC in sacks, second in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, do not have a single sack today.
And with Kroll coming out for at least a play that is not a charged timeout, this pass is complete to Jeffries. They are going to spot it at the 39-yard line, so it'll go for 6. The clock continues to move inside of 4 minutes remaining. Of course, Houston wanting to accomplish 2 things here. They, of course, would like to score again, but I think more importantly, they want to keep that clock moving. Timeouts remaining, 2 on each side.
Interestingly enough, because of the accuracy of Warren Moon, a misnomer where the run-and-shoot offense is concerned is that it's not a ball-controlled team. At the end of the season, they had nearly 31 minutes, which means that they averaged more per game in time of possession than their opponents.
39-yard line following a gain of 6, second down and 4. Moon comes back to the near side to Jeffries, who has it. The wide receivers on the opposite side looking back to Moon and padding on their right hip. Were they signaling to him that they had the double coverage there and it'd be single coverage on the left?
Yes, that's what they were signaling. It's interesting that they have that sort of communication. Inside, the responsibility goes to both Ernest Gibbons and Drew Hill there, because they have to communicate to the people on the outside, because in a crowd like this, certainly they can't hear what Warren Moon is saying. I wanted to make a point here with regards to Haywood Jeffries. We got on him a little bit for dropping those 2 passes earlier. Isn't it interesting that Warren Moon does not lose confidence in him? And now, in obviously the most significant drive of the game, where does he go to get the first down? Haywood Jeffries.
The century man, 100 catches during the regular season. As you saw, a gain of 5 and the first down. 3:13 time remaining in the ball game. Houston 24, Denver 23.
Now, the one thing that Warren Moon does not want to do, take a look at those numbers, 26 for 32. That is an impressive over 80%.
81%.
Now, what Kevin Gilbride is telling Warren Moon in this situation is that we cannot afford an incompletion, and incompletion stops the clock.
White is going to lose a yard. And it will be second down and 11.
Denver's taking a timeout here, which is smart because right there, the game clock was even with the 45-second clock, and Houston could have got away with just letting it run down.
So Denver, as you saw, with one timeout remaining in the ball game.
Because of what they're doing there, Charlie, now this forces, this sounds funny, this forces Houston to throw.
Play right into my strength, if you will, please.
So, in other words, they just can't hand off to Lorenzo White, let the clock run down, kick a field goal, or punt it and put the pressure on the defense. Warren Moon is going to have to make some plays here to his wideouts, and again, really, the pressure is on the defensive backs for the Denver Broncos.
Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. His dad, of course, Bum, the former head coach of Houston. Now one of their broadcasters is here for the ball game.
This is all part of the chess game with Wade Phillips. He has to ask himself the question at this point, do I want to stay with the standard four-man rush and see if the secondary can do the job, or do I want to blitz Warren Moon, take some chances, and knock them back?
The report on Mike Crowley, he's just had the wind knocked out of him, and he can come back in. Moon goes deep. There's some bumping inside of the 5. No flags. Incomplete. Jeffries, the intended receiver. And the Broncos secondary may have gotten away with one.
This entire game, we have been talking about how well what Warren Moon has done. Smart plays, heads-up plays, athletic plays. Why, oh, why are you throwing a post pattern with 2:35 left? Why aren't you throwing the short routes that Haywood Jeffries has been coming up with all day long? Ernest Gibbons underneath, Drew Hill underneath. Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon are certainly going to be second-guessed for that call.
And that does stop the clock with 2:36 remaining. Houston 5 of 7, third down conversion. Pass is complete, but it will be short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. It'll go for only 3.
Prior to the snap.
There was movement prior to the snap. That is an automatic call. So it'll be third down and 16 on the false start, and that play is completely erased.
The only thing good for Houston there is now the clock has ticked down to where whatever this play is, assuming that it's not incomplete, will take it to the 2-minute warning. But what Houston has to concern itself with here at the 40-yard line is, can they get into field goal position? Not necessarily can they get the first down, because it's a little unrealistic to go 3rd and 16. If they can get a 10-yarder down to the 30-yard line, then they would be in Al Del Greco's field goal range, and that's something that both Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon have to concern themselves with here.
Third and 16. Moon with all the time in the world now. A flag is down. Pass is complete. It'll be 9 yards shy of the first down to Curtis Duncan, but a marker back at the 44 usually means against the offense. Clock now at 2:23.
3 times now during this drive, the clock has been stopped. It has only gone from around 2:54 down to 2:23 in the last 3 plays. Now, whether they take the play or not here, it's advantage Denver Broncos because the flag has stopped the clock. Now
and Houston stopping the clock themselves.
Now at the 34-yard line, here's an interesting point. If they refuse the penalty, that's a 51-yard field goal attempt.
Illegal hands to the face. 63, offense. Still third down.
Mike Munjacket, he has had a struggle today.
Well, for an all-pro player, this has certainly not been the best day of his career. We'll get a chance to see this right in the middle of your screen. Take a look at number 63. Right up front, you're going to see Fletcher coming. There's the hand to the face. Actually, that wasn't Munn. There it is.
There it is.
Right there on the face mask. He gets Greg Craden. Truthfully, I'm surprised that they took this penalty. If for no other reason than now this gives Houston a chance to run some more time off the clock. I would look for the Oilers here just to hand off to Lorenzo White, get down to the 2-minute warning.
3rd and 26 they do. This is White on the draw to the 46-yard line. And now Denver stops the clock. They take their last timeout, stopping it at 2:15. What they did in reality, they saved 15 seconds. Denver has really worked the clock well. They have no more timeouts, but it being 4th down, they will have the ball on offense, feeling that Elway can control the clock that way.
Charlie, you know what? I hate to disagree with you. It's not so much that Denver has used the clock well, it's that Houston has worked it absolutely horribly here during this set. I mean, you have
I can agree with that, too.
You have the ball 1st and 10, 2:54 on the clock. Now you have it 4th down, and there's still 2:15 remaining. Anybody that knows anything about John Elway knows that he is a comeback kid.
And Greg Montgomery will be kicking. This is his first punt of the ball game, coming with 2:15. You saw Elway, he's ready to go. Vance Johnson is the return man. He told us yesterday he would rather fair catch. I don't think he will here. Let's see. The reason that he is returning, he has the best hands on the team. Here's pressure, he gets it off. Oh, a good kick. It's going to be down at the 2-yard line.
What a great kick by Montgomery. Look at how excited he is. There is a man who has not been able to do this. He hasn't been active the entire day. And there he comes in. Huge kick on the 2-yard line.
The drive, Cleveland. Elway, 98 yards. Can he do it again? He has 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Big difference here, however, is he does not have to go 98 yards. In this case, really, he only has to go about 68 to get in position for a Treadwell field goal.
Denver from the Denver 2, 1st down. And how ironic it might be if that happens. Treadwell, who missed the extra point, kicks the winning field goal. But first things first, from the shotgun and the end zone. And the pass is complete. Michael Young. A diving reception at the 24-yard line. 2-minute warning. We'll step aside for a minute. Don't miss this one. You gotta love it.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1991. With less than 7 minutes to go in the game, the Lions trail by 17. 2 touchdowns and a successful onside kick later. And with 36 seconds left, Detroit is 15 yards from an unbelievable comeback victory.
3rd down, less than a yard from inside the 15. It's Barry, and he's open to the 10, 5, touchdown! Barry Sanders! Unbelievable!
Recycling aluminum beverage cans can help save money, since they're worth more at recycling centers and at curbside pickup. Save energy, since they have more recycled content. They save landfill space, since more than 63% of all aluminum cans made are recycled. Yes, recycling aluminum cans saves more of a lot of things, which helps save one more thing. Aluminum beverage cans. Why in the world would you buy anything else?
This is our vision of what a luxury sedan should be. Not because it offers rich leather and anti-lock brakes, but because it comes standard with an airbag on the driver's side and the passenger side as well, creating the luxury sedan where even peace of mind is shared. The new 929, the first luxury sedan from the new Mazda.
It just feels right.
To me, there's nothing better than winning a Super Bowl or a NASCAR race. That's why Interstate's my kind of battery. Get an Interstate battery from automotive service, repair, and parts centers everywhere, and win with Interstate.
Flashback. I mentioned the drive. 1986 AFC Championship game. This was the tying touchdown. Elway to Mark Jackson. With 39 seconds remaining, the Broncos went on to win it in overtime on a Rich Karlis field goal. started at the 2, but as Todd mentioned, they need only to get to about the Houston 30-yard line for the field goal attempt. Houston 24, Denver 23. Elway from the shotgun. Lathan is chasing him. He gets it away, and he's throwing it away. It'll be second down.
They came with a lot of people there. They came with the strong safety, Bubba McDowell, Lamar Lathan, who ends up knocking him out of bounds on Al Smith from the middle. Now here's a big chess game where Jim Eddy is concerned. He can't afford the luxury of letting Elway sit in the pocket unencumbered because he's going to pick that secondary apart. He decided that time to come with some people, and it worked for him.
And remember, Denver does not have a timeout. Houston has 2. 1:52. Time remaining. The margin a point. Elway goes deep, and he overthrows Vance Johnson.
Chris Dishman does a nice job on the coverage. He goes with the corner route. He has a man for man. That's funny. As I run back to the huddle, I just saw Chris Dishman pat Vance Johnson on the butt. He's running with him stride for stride. He knows he has some helps him to the inside. Now he cuts back. Only a throw like he had to Michael Young earlier could have snuck it in there, and I don't know what Vance Johnson's complaining about, because Dishman had excellent coverage.
It is 3rd down and 10. Denver at their own 24-yard line. Looking into a Colorado sunset from the shotgun. The quick out. The pass is complete. Ricky Nattiel, and he is dropped immediately, way shy of the first down, 28-yard line.
Now what's difficult about this is that they're in the 2-minute situation. It's a 4th down. They do not have another timeout, I don't believe, so this will be interesting.
And Michael Young is the injured player at the 40-yard line. There may be a penalty.
By rule, all required for 10-second run with the clock.
If you can hear Bobby Greer, he's telling us right here that there's a 10-second runoff.
That is by rule when you have, after you used all of your timeouts, if you're in this particular time situation on the clock, any injury, regardless of whether it's faking, whether it is real, the official will stand over the clock, let 10 seconds run off before the next play.
But here is what the benefit is to the Denver Broncos. Because they were in the hurry-up on 4th down and 6, the most crucial play of the game, Elway was going to have to audible that at the line of scrimmage. Now, because of the injury to Michael Young, they get back in the huddle, they regroup, they get exactly the personnel that they want, and they can call exactly the play that they want.
4th down and 6. And was it not 4th down and 4 that Denver was successful in this ball game?
That man right there waiting for his turn for redemption. Earlier, as you mentioned, hooking that extra point.
Can Denver do it twice in the same ball game, converting on 4th down? This is 4th and 6, a minute 38 left. And that throw, you may recall, was to this man who is being helped off, Michael Young. It was a perfect pass right down the right sideline.
You're going to have people spread out all over the field. What about the possibility of John Elway, one of the 2 or 3 best running quarterbacks in the National Football League, going with a quarterback draw?
Not a bad choice. They have to let the 10 seconds run off.
10 seconds go down.
And then the umpire, who the center can see when he drops his hand, then the ball can be snapped. There it is, hand down, ball can be snapped. Elway's going to throw. Has pressure from the backside, scrambles out left. He's running for it. He's got it. Elway does it again. Oh, you gotta love it.
John, it's funny to see the reaction of Dan Reeves. He's seen this so many times before. If you remember the graphic we had earlier, 18 come from behind wins in the fourth quarter for John Elway and the Denver Broncos. He's seen it before. It's got to be frustrating to the Houston Oilers defense, who did everything right, but John Elway's athleticism overcame the right defense.
Sixth time in the ball game that Elway has rushed, total 39 yards. Pass is tipped incomplete. That stops the clock, 1:14. And it is second down and 10.
Once again, the Houston Oilers came with the blitz. Both Darrell Lewis and Bubba McDowell came off the corner. Take a look at number 29. Darrell Lewis is going to come off the near corner, get in his face, and as a result, they bat the pass down. Oh, we're not going to have time for the replay.
Jeff Alm, who was there.
Here it comes. Here comes Darrell Lewis jumping up, but it's Jeff Alm in the middle.
And he is pushed down by Chuck Wydell, and there are no flags. Alm now has come out, and he has been replaced to the line.
That's interesting because they don't want any stupid mistakes at this point. No arguments, no pulling of the face mask. They got him right out of the game.
Second and 10 from the shotgun. Elway goes deep, and it is incomplete. He overthrows everybody. Derek Russell, the closest receiver. And it's going to be third down and 10, back at the 35-yard line.
Once again, Jim Eddy doing an excellent job of mixing up the defensive coverages. One time he comes with 6. This time he comes with 4. It's a bit of a chess game here between John Elway and Jim Eddy. What do you come up with in this situation? And last time they had third and 10, Jim Eddy made the right call. That man is frustrated. He would like to be out there simply because of the fact that he wants to have some control over what's happening on the field. Now he doesn't.
And remember, Houston leads by 1, 24-23, 1 minute and 8 seconds left. The field goal kicker for Denver, David Treadwell. Third down and 10. Backside pressure, Elway steps away, throws back, has a man, and it is incomplete. Vance Johnson was coming back to help him, and that pass from Elway across the field and about 50 yards in the air is unbelievable.
Similar to a pass he made earlier against the Kansas City Chiefs. Certainly there's a lot of argument by the crowd. But take a look what's going to happen at the end of this play. Lamar Lathan, as we mentioned, a fast linebacker, has him in his tracks. What an athletic play here to break and to Boyd, push him off. Now at the end of the play, you're going to see Richard Johnson just cream Vance Johnson, but the ball is so far beyond. Good call by the back judge. This was not a catchable football.
And what had happened is Johnson had broken off his route to try and come back to Elway, and Elway threw it where he was. Houston takes a timeout. They stop the clock, 59 seconds.
I'm not sure I like that. I know what they're trying
to do. 4th down and 10, they want to regroup.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but you've got John Elway reeling. You got him thrown off his back foot. You don't want to give him the chance to come over and think about it, relax, get his composure.
But you only have to stop them one play. From Houston's standpoint, if they stop Elway and the Broncos on this play, they win. Why take a chance? 59 seconds left. Put it all together, make sure everybody knows what you're doing. The whole season is this one play for Houston. Now, do you blitz? Do you put the pressure on?
4th and 10, I don't think so. What you do in this situation is you rush with 4, you bracket Vance Johnson. I can't see from here if Michael Young is back in the game, but if he is back in the game, he's been their clutch 3rd and 4th down receiver. Single cover the rookie Derek Russell, but make sure that you have Vance Johnson and Steve Sewell covered.
And remember, Denver has converted on 4th and 4, and they have converted on 4th and 6, and now it is 4th and 10. Barry Johnson goes wide to the far side. 3 wide receivers on the near side.
But only 2 corners, Charlie.
Elway scrambles, throws, has a man. They got it. It's Johnson down the sideline. He is within field goal range. It doesn't get any better. Oh, I love it. 44 yards on 4th and 10.
Once John Elway breaks contain, he puts the pressure on the secondary to make a decision. Watch the man covering Vance Johnson. Do you stay with him or do you come up? He comes up to go after Elway. A bad decision. The reason it is even if Elway runs for the first down, the clock keeps going.
And here is Sewell to the 11-yard line. No timeouts remaining for Denver. Clock continues to move.
But John Elway has the composure. He's looking around. He knows all he has to do is get his people up to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball.
It'll be a first down at the 11-yard line. And he spikes it. Now, 20 seconds remaining. Will Elway take a shot at the end zone, or they want to kick it now?
Absolutely not. They're huddled over there right now. They're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it now. A lot of things could go wrong. Why take any chances? You got to hear. Let's see now if David Treadwell can do it.
Now, this is interesting. A couple of Super Bowls ago, I remember when Cliff Harris came out and said something to Roy Girella. And that's exactly what Dishman is doing. Look at Dishman in the huddle. Look at number 28. He was saying something to Treadwell right there. He was trying to psych him out. Now, when they come up the line of scrimmage, are the Houston Oilers going to call a timeout and try to freeze him out?
I would think so. 28-yard attempt.
That's exactly right.
And they will. Sure. 20 seconds left. Ooh. Remember the drive? They did it in Cleveland.
Look at that baby face. Look at that baby face. What's going through that young man's mind right now? It's a chance for redemption. The entire season rests on this one kick. One thing that I should mention here, Charlie, soccer-style kickers who have the natural hook prefer the left hash. Now to the right hash, it could be a little bit more difficult. I find it interesting as we take a look at number 72, Keith Karts. Because of the snap problems earlier by Wydell, even though Karts hasn't played, he is coming into the game to be the snapper. What he is explaining to the referee right now is he's saying, look, right now it is second down. If I fumble the snap, I can come up here, and then we can get up to the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, and still kick another field goal. That's what he's trying to explain to Bobby Greer. Treadwell inside the 30-yard line this season has been perfect. 15 of 15.
28 yards away. Low snap. He gets it off. It's good. Kubiak this time scrambled with the hands and set it up. 16 seconds remain. 26-24 Denver.
Great job by Gary Kubiak. Another bad snap on the hop. He gets it up just in time. Treadwell makes the adjustment. Thank you, Gary Kubiak. Thank you for saving me with that, with your great hands. Otherwise, Treadwell already in his motion, as you notice. Watch David Treadwell already in his motion. He can't adjust. He's got to go through. At the last tenth of a second, Kubiak able to get it up. Treadwell hammers it through. The Broncos are ecstatic.
The Drive, Part 2.
That man did everything he could conceivably do to help this team win his football game. And if you've seen Warren Moon in the past, you know he is not an emotional individual. This one really has to hurt.
Coleman from the 6-yard line. And he goes out of bounds to stop the clock at the 20-yard line. Houston with 12 seconds remaining in the season, trailing by 2.
What a shock to this Houston team. Up 21-6 in the first quarter. Everything going their way. We talked all the time about strange things happening in this place. That is exactly what has happened to that team right there. Look at the beleaguered looks on their faces. They thought in the first half that it was their game for the taking, and for all intents and purposes it was. But once you have somebody like number 7 on your side, John Elway, who can make magic happen, they're never out of a game.
Houston needs 50 yards in 11 seconds to try a field goal attempt. Moon's pass to Gibbons. He goes down about 7 seconds. He's out at the 36-yard line for Denver. The drive, part 2, 11 plays, 87 yards. It consumed a minute, 51 seconds. It led to the 28-yard field goal.
Now, just for the sake of reference here, if they in 6 seconds can get that exact same route, they get the exact same route to Gibbons here in 6 seconds, they can kick about a 55-yard field goal. And in this altitude, you never know.
Del Greco against the Jets at a 53-yarder.
I think they're going to run the exact same route to the other side.
One second left.
What a bitter pill for this team to swallow. They proved that they could play outdoors. They proved that the elements had nothing to do with it. They took on the home field advantage. They did everything. They spent it all out there. If you want to run the gamut of emotions, see the faces on the Houston Oilers and see the faces for the Denver Broncos.
1 second left. It's over. Denver wins 26-24.
So many times, but did you believe that you guys would be in a position to get a chance to win this game?
I tell you what, we were chasing all day long. I just hoped that we had one chance to win it at the end of the game. The defense did a great job, and they gave us a chance. It was on the one, but we were just glad we had a chance. And boy, I tell you what, everybody just played their tail off. We got the job done.
And that last drive, you had 2 fourth downs. Both of them were broken plays. Can you tell me what happened?
Well, they got some good pressure, and I knew on 4th down I wanted to try to get out and scramble, make something happen. And fortunately, there was some room for me to run on the first one. The second one, they covered me pretty good, and Vance Johnson turned up the field, and I was able to get him the ball.
Now, tell me the difference between this team and teams in the past. No one thought you'd be here this time of the year.
I'll tell you what, our defense has played great all year, and they've really kept us in every football game. They struggled a little bit today, and I'm just thankful that the offense could pick it up and really score some points because the Oilers were moving the heck out of the ball, and we just came back to offense and got it done.
What about Buffalo next week?
We're looking forward to it, but I hope the Chiefs win.
Right to you, under you, Charlie.
And of course, if the Chiefs win, then that game, the championship game, will be played here. If Buffalo wins, Denver will be at Buffalo. 4th down and 10 in the pass to that man that you saw for a moment, Vance Johnson and Warren Moon, walking into the locker room for the last time this season.
I couldn't help but think as you watch Vance Johnson get picked up and Warren Moon walking off, heroes ride and losers walk. It's a shame.
We'll be back in a moment.
here. Vance Johnson is going to run a crossing route. Actually, nothing special, but the big decision is here on the corner. He makes the egregious mistake of going after Elway, because even if Elway runs for the first down, it's in the middle of the field at about the 40-yard line. What does he do right here? Stay in your zone. Instead, he steps up. The ball is thrown over him. Vance Johnson with the big play that leads to the field goal. Mental mistake on the part of the Oilers that gave the Broncos the victory.
In that drive, Denver converted on 4th and 6. They converted on 4th and 10. That was the play you just saw. The final score, once again, Denver 26 and Houston 24. For O.J. Simpson and Todd Christensen, I'm Charlie Jones. Be sure to join NBC Sports tomorrow for the next AFC Divisional Playoff Game, the Bills and the Chiefs. Coverage begins at 12 noon Eastern Time with NFL Live. And tonight on NBC, it's the Golden Girls, Walter and Emily, Empty Nest, Nurses, and Sisters. Denver wins. So long, everybody.